Okay, so hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now this is my 200 sub special, although technically, I've passed 200 subs already, but I'm still calling it my 200 sub special because I did hit 200 subs by the time this video is releasing. Anyways, so today's video is what if Naruto had a quirk, and although this idea is something that I expect to see a lot, I don't really see a bunch of YouTubers doing this, and I'm not sure why, but I just haven't been seeing it around. So I decided to make my own version of what if Naruto had a quirk. So the thumbnail for this video, if it looks good, I think it looks good, it's pretty good, but it is an old thumbnail. I made this a long time ago. I don't know what to say, but I really don't want to waste too much of your time. Let's get right into this video. So basically, the way this is going to work is that Naruto's quirk is kind of like Tokoyami's Dark Shadow, and maybe you haven't watched My Hero Academia, so I'll kind of explain it. Tokoyami's Dark Shadow is basically like this black bird that kind of attaches himself to this character called Tokoyami, and it's basically like this thing connected to Tokoyami, and it's almost like I don't know how to describe it, but the way this is going to work for Naruto is he's going to have the exact same thing, but with the nine tails. So he's almost going to have a version of the nine tails that he can create and control that is somewhat attached to his body. And so basically, he can create the nine tails avatar, but not it's kind of like he can create the nine tails avatar and he can use that to attack people. Basically, that's how his quirk works. I didn't explain it really well, I don't think, but you'll understand as the what if goes on. So with that, let's just jump straight into it. Okay, so to understand how Naruto developed this quirk, we will skip back to the event where Obito got Kurama and did the whole thing where he attacked the Konoha village. So basically, we skip all the way back to that time. And after Minato deals with Obito and everything, he ends up sealing the nine tails inside of Naruto. Now, when he does this, he doesn't quite realize, but right after he seals the nine tails within Naruto, Naruto forms a tail. And at first, actually, nobody realizes this. Not Kushina, not Minato, but Naruto gets one orange glowing tail. And so basically, that is how his quirk is going to look. And as his quirk develops, he's going to get more and more tails to his quirk. But for now, he just has one tail. And the only person who realizes this is Hiruzen after a while, and after Minato and Kushina dies, telling Hiruzen to take care of Naruto. After Hiruzen, just tries giving Naruto some clothes, giving him a house, changing his diaper, whatever, he realizes that Naruto has a tail. Assuming that this is due to the nine tails, he's really not too surprised, although he is really curious how this ended up being, because from what he knows, Jinchurikis aren't supposed to get tails. But he really doesn't mind because he doesn't know the most about Jinchurikis, and he just decides that this is normal, and that's just how it is, because the nine tails is in fact sealed within Naruto. Now, Naruto grows up. Once again, not really having attention from anyone. And after Danzo tells everyone the fact that Naruto is in fact the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, everybody hates Naruto. In fact, this fact only gets worse because Naruto literally has a tail sticking out his butt. So, I mean, if people didn't believe Danzo, they really kind of have to. But because of this, Naruto ended up deciding to just kind of hide his tail. I don't know, he just found a place to put it. He just hid his tail so that the villagers or anyone new he met really wouldn't realize that he had a tail sticking out his back. So, yeah. Now, all of this just keeps going on all the way until his first day at the academy. And this is kind of also when he discovers his quirk. Now, on his first day at the academy, all the kids just stare at him when he enters. And Naruto really just hoped that the academy would be a bit different from everywhere else. Maybe that he wouldn't be just neglected by everyone. Maybe not everyone would hate him as much. But no. In fact, if anything, the kids hated him even more. Scared of the Nine-Tails. Hating Naruto. And Naruto really just couldn't make a bunch of friends. Except for all the friends he did have in the original that really didn't even care, even after they found out he was the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. Naruto really just doesn't have a lot of friends. Now, for the first day of the academy, Iruka decided that he kind of wanted to test all of the new students. So he decided to kind of have a mini test. First, he tried to teach them the Shadow Clone Jutsu, not really expecting any of them to get it on their first try. Now, Sasuke, being the big exception here, was actually able to get it on his first try with almost no trouble. But everybody else, especially Naruto, they just couldn't do it. And at this point, Naruto really wasn't judged for this because nobody else could do it either, but this already started the rivalry between him and Sasuke. Now, of course, this was a bit of a one-sided rivalry. I mean, Sasuke didn't view Naruto as a rival, but Naruto viewed Sasuke as a rival, that sort of thing. But Naruto just almost looks up to Sasuke, kind of thinking of Sasuke as that goal he wants to reach. And I can't blame him for that. Now, after a while doing physical exams, kunai throwing exams, a bunch of stuff, where once again Naruto got nearly last place, being demolished by Sasuke every single time, it was time for the sparring. And wouldn't you know it, Sasuke and Naruto are going to be sparring together. Now, what happens here is, as Sasuke and Naruto kind of just get together and get ready to spar, Naruto is just okay, Sasuke, I'm gonna beat you this time. And so they just start sparring, but Naruto just doesn't stand a chance, with Sasuke outclassing him in every category, like taijutsu, ninjutsu, everything. And he keeps knocking Naruto down, almost knocking him out of the circle at one point. But Naruto just refuses to lose. So, Sasuke decides to finish things off quickly, as he starts weaving hand signs and says, "Fireball Jutsu!" as he breathes fire, creating a huge fireball and literally just attacking Naruto. In his mind, completely destroying him. And Iruka almost thinks of stopping the exam. This could nearly kill Naruto, and everyone watches in awe. And for Naruto, things almost go in slow motion. His life flashes before his eyes. As he sees the fireball coming out of Sasuke's mouth, he just thinks, I have to stop it. Anything. Please. As he just tries shielding himself with his arms, trying to resist the blow as much as he can. And he closes his eyes, waiting to be hit. But it doesn't happen. And as he opens his eyes, he sees a yellowish, almost fox-shaped thing appear. And by the time he opens his eyes, it's already almost gone. And it seems that nobody else saw it, but Naruto did. It was a fox-shaped thing, and it had taken the blow for Naruto. And Naruto could immediately tell that this was related to his tail, because it was the exact same color and had the exact same design. And instantly seeing this, Naruto realized that his tail must be connected to some sort of power, although he didn't quite get it yet. And Sasuke, after the whole fireball, was just like, okay, Naruto's probably like almost dead by now. He's unconscious, obviously. I'll just be like, he just kind of let his guard down, being like, yeah, this match is over. But Naruto came out of the smoke, just running at Sasuke with not a single scratch on his body, and punched Sasuke in the gut, sending him flying. Now, Sasuke was too shocked to react. I mean, how did Naruto even survive that jutsu? At his level, Naruto should have almost died from that. But, I mean, of course, Sasuke wasn't trying to kill Naruto, but Naruto should have been at least unconscious after that. And this stunned literally everyone as Naruto rushed in and punched Sasuke. Sasuke was barely able to save himself once again from going out. And then Sasuke quickly used a sweep kick and then a punch to get Naruto out. And Naruto was almost like unscratched, but technically, because he went out of bounds, he had lost. He went out the circle. So Naruto was like, dang it, I was so close. But at the same time, he was more wondering what that fox was, that thing that protected him from the fireball. Now, after the match, they do the whole unison, like the sparring sign thing. You know, the sign that they do before and after every spar, I think, in Naruto. They do that sign, and after that, they all head off on their ways, with Sasuke both starting to view Naruto as the way he starts viewing him in canon, where it's just like, yo, what is this? What is this power Naruto has? And also, he starts kind of viewing Naruto as his rival. So, he's not necessarily like that now, but he almost sees potential in Naruto. He can tell that if Naruto was, well, as skilled and experienced as him, he probably would have won that. I mean, he has no idea how he survived that jutsu that he threw at him, but he did, and with almost no experience at all. So if Naruto had as much skill as Sasuke would have easily been destroyed there. But anyways, after that, the school day ends, and, you know, everyone just goes home. Now, on the way home, all of the, girls and people from the Sasuke fangirl club are just, talking about how Naruto how Naruto survived that fireball. I mean, Sakura was like, oh my god, Sasuke's fireball was so good, did you see that? But, Ino brought up the fact that Naruto was literally able to run through it, like, not a single scratch, and he was not affected. Naruto must have had a way to just avoid any damage from the fire. And then Sakura was like, yeah, it must have been that nine-tail stuff. I mean, you know, he's a demon kid after all. I mean, he probably has, fire resistance or something. It's probably all that demon's fault. You know, it's just, complete ignorance, because since Sakura has no idea how being a Jinchuriki works, she really just doesn't understand. And although she isn't technically wrong by saying that it was the Nine Tails that saved Naruto, she's really not right in what she's saying either. Like, she doesn't exactly understand what happened, but she just blames it on Naruto being a weird demon kid, and a lot of the other people agree. Now, everyone else is kind of satisfied with that explanation, but Hinata really doesn't see Naruto as a demon. After all, that whole incident, and although I didn't cover it, where Naruto saved Hinata, did happen. So Hinata does actually like Naruto. Now, she's just thinking, no, there must be another way that Naruto survived it. He must have done something. And so, yeah, after that, Naruto basically goes home and tries to reactivate that quirk he has. Now, he doesn't know this is a quirk, but he realizes that this is probably a feature of his tail. So he tries talking to his tail, and he tries to release it. You know what Spider-Man, the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, was? When he first found out that he could shoot webs, he was kind of trying different hand signs, saying things like "Go web, go," until he finally found that one hand sign that actually released the spider webs. So yeah, it's kind of like that, where Naruto has no idea how to activate this power that he has, but he just realizes that it is there. And throughout the course of the academy, Naruto keeps training with his quirk, actually bringing out an energy at times. How do I explain it? It's almost like Naruto brings forth a energy of sorts, like this special chakra that seems to come from the Nine Tails, and almost just brings forth all that energy and kind of shoots it out. But he never was able to summon the full Nine Tails, and so he was able to get fragments of the Nine Tails, but never actually have a recognizable fox. And he never had anything like what he experienced while Kurama protected him from the fireball. Well, the quirk version of Kurama. After that, we just skip all the way over to when the Chunin, oh my god, the whole graduation exam happens. And basically, Naruto is once again unable to pass. And Naruto just isn't quite able to do the jutsu. Now, it's not like in the original where the Nine Tails was messing with his chakra, although it was only half as bad. So Naruto was actually able to get the clone, but it was so barely, it basically didn't, Naruto got the clone, but it was almost half of a clone, so it was so bad. He got it technically, but it was not good enough to have Iruka accept it and let Naruto pass. Because, since Kurama is currently almost manifests in the form of the quirk, he still tampers with Naruto's chakra, but just not as much. So yeah, Naruto ends up failing. This is when Mizuki takes this perfect opportunity to fool Naruto into helping him. And he explains to Naruto that there's actually a secret portion to this whole exam. And at first, Naruto is confused, but at the same time, he's intrigued and listens as Mizuki explains how he can actually pass even though he failed. And he says that he has to get this thing called a scroll of sealing from the Hokage's area. And Naruto's like, okay, and then what? And he tells him to meet him in a certain location. Now, Naruto immediately goes in, taking the scroll of sealing, and I still don't understand how he was able to do that. A not even Genin level person was just able to sneak in to the Hokage's office and steal the scrolls. I mean, why didn't Mizuki do it himself if it was that easy? Seriously. But anyways, yeah. So Naruto takes the scroll of sealing and takes it all the way to the location. Now, in this spot where Naruto brings the whole scroll of sealing thing to, Mizuki is waiting for him. And Iruka ends up finding him too, telling him that in fact this was probably a trap, and Mizuki had lured him here to get the scroll of sealing. And Mizuki threw a kunai, like not a kunai, the huge shuriken. I don't know what it's called. Basically, yeah, I don't know if that's a Fuma shuriken, but I think something like that. So he throws that at Naruto, but Iruka blocks it with his back, and Naruto's like, "Iruka-sensei, are you okay?" And Iruka just says, "Go, Naruto, run, I'll deal with him." But Naruto isn't letting that happen, as he looks at the seal one more, like the scroll of sealing one more time, making sure that he remembers how to make the multi-shadow clone jutsu correctly. And then he says it. He makes a hand sign forming a plus with his fingers and says multi-shadow clone jutsu as he summons tons and tons of clones. Also borrowing some of the Nine-Tails chakra in this rage moment, sort of, seeing Iruka hurt. And as Naruto literally just charges in at Mizuki from all directions, he literally just destroys Mizuki. I mean, Naruto just destroys him. He doesn't even stand a chance. He doesn't even use his quirk, both because he doesn't need to, and also because I don't want Iruka to learn about his quirk just quite yet. And yeah, with that, Naruto is just destroys Mizuki, and Iruka ends up telling him that he passed because, well, he displayed bravery and he displayed strength, I guess. I mean, Iruka just gives him his headband. So yeah, Naruto does end up passing the graduation exam, although in a very unconventional way. So yeah, but he does end up passing, and Naruto is extremely happy for that. Anyways, after that, he just goes home, comes back the next day for the teams to be announced. And yeah, they just end up going there, and just Shikamaru's like, "Yo, Naruto, why are you here? Isn't this supposed to be only for people who passed?" And Naruto's just like, "You see this? You see this headband? Do you want to know how I got it? Like, you see this headband? This means I passed, okay? I don't know if you're blind, but I have a headband on, and that means that I passed. I'm here because like, he does that thing he does in the original. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch, because it's a really funny scene. But yeah, basically that's what happens, and Iruka ends up announcing the teams. He explains that Team 7 will be Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke, and also announces all the other teams, but that's really irrelevant for us because we only care about Team 7, and that's probably one of, the other teams will be mentioned, of course, but not a lot. I mean, they're not really important to the entire story, especially in this what if, yeah. So Team 7 is Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto, and Sakura doesn't know how to feel because she's with Naruto, but she just says, I guess it doesn't matter because I'm with Sasuke. So that's just what she's thinking in her head. And Sasuke's like, damn, I got together with the two worst people possible out of probably everyone else. Sakura and Naruto are the two most annoying people. So he's really mad, but Naruto's like, oh cool, I actually got into the same thing as Sasuke. That's good, I guess. And he doesn't know how to feel about being with Sakura because he doesn't have a crush on Sakura, unlike in the original. So yeah, I really do not feel like making Naruto have a crush on Sakura. Sakura's useless and annoying, and Naruto doesn't need to have a crush on her. So yeah, they end up waiting a long time for Kakashi to arrive, with all of the other teams immediately going off with their senseis, and just Kakashi taking his time to arrive and giving one of his useless excuses again. He tells them to meet them up on the roof, and nobody complains, just going up there. And up there, Kakashi tells everyone to talk about their goals, likes, and dislikes. And Sakura goes first, being like, I like a certain someone. I dislike a certain someone. With the like one, she looks at Sasuke, being like, I like Sasuke, obviously. And then when she says, I dislike a certain someone, she just stares at Naruto. And then she says, my goal is to be a very good wife to a certain someone. Once again, staring at Sasuke. Now, Sasuke does this whole emo thing, being like, I don't have any likes or dislikes. I just, my goal is not a goal because I will make it a reality, and it is to kill a certain someone. And that's kind of like what he says. And Kakashi's like, so far, I don't know if this is a good team. And then Naruto, who basically is the only one who has normal goals, where he's like, I like ramen, I dislike whatever, and my goal is to become the Hokage. And so Kakashi's like, okay, you know what, that's fine, those are good goals, I can't really complain. So he's like, okay, well, I'm extremely sorry the footage cut out, but what I was saying is, Kakashi said that I want you to meet me by the training grounds tomorrow. Make sure not to eat anything, or else you will throw it all up. So yeah, and he just poofs out of there, cause it turns out he was a clone all along. Anyways, everyone heads home, and yeah, that's basically where I'm gonna end it. Make sure to come back for part 2 to see what happens next. And yeah, see you guys next time.